One day, I looked at what was happening in this world and I said to myself, I said, from my analysis, I can come up with a logical conclusion. What is the logical conclusion? The logical conclusion is that the world is not a safe place for a saint. I dissected issues, and at the end, the next thing was to come up with a logical conclusion. My logical conclusion was a sentence. I concluded that the world is not a safe place for a saint. So I had to communicate to God. When you audit a company or you investigate a federal government parastatal, the next thing for you to do is to come up with a report. And when you come up with a report, your report has to be submitted. So where are you going to submit the report to? Is to a human being. So I had a problem. I dissected life and I've come up with my own conclusion. But the conclusion was meant for God. I cannot see God. So I say, I'm going to write to him. I called it my message to God. I began to write. In that write-up, I analyzed the issues and I came up with a recommendation. I told God, this is how I see it. I'm coming up with my own recommendation. Because the world is not a safe place for a saint. I told God in that message, I said, God, let's settle it once and for all. If a human being goes to demons, if a human being approaches a shrine, a diabolical shrine, and the intent is to harm the innocent, detail your angels to track them down. As they are making the move, strike them down. When they get to that Babalawo house, when they get to the house of the diabolical, when the witchcraft and the witches are consulting oracles and demons appear there, settle it once and for all. So the Babalawo will be doing incantation. The juju priest, the voodoo priest will be doing incantation. Will be looking at his spiritual mirror. Jesus will appear there. The voodoo priest will shout. He said, this is wrong. Our plan cannot work. Because God himself has stepped in. Because God Himself has put His hand there. I called it the boomerang decree. When you say something is boomeranging, that's what it means. In Africa, we call it back to the sender. So the intention is to harm the innocent. God shows up and you harm yourself. The plan is to get demons, witchcraft, and wizards to cause harm. You harm yourself. Jesus Himself will step in and neutralize the plans. That is the only way the world can be a safe place for the saints. I told God, if a saint dies and his spirit appears before you, he will be seeking vengeance. So instead of saying, don't worry, come home and rest, you should say, they can't kill you, because I'll track them down and thwart their plans. They can't abort your mission, because I'll track them down and hurt them. It makes better sense that way. That's what I told God. It's called the boomerang effect. It's like holding a gun, and the gun, instead of killing, kills you. I'm not seeing anybody that holds a gun and he says he's going to war and he wants to kill himself. No. The reason why somebody holds a gun and he says he wants to fight is because he wants to fight somebody else. But God shows up and he twists the gun. Instead of harming somebody else, you harm yourself. That is the only way the world can be a safe place for the saints. So instead of God saying, you are welcome, my son, you don't have to worry about death, come and rest, God says, I'll track them down. They can't abort your mission. When they make their move, I make my move, and I'll kill them.